All right, so I figured since the poll indicated that most people wanted a review of this 2018 F350, I would do it. So, purchased a truck. If you haven't watched a previous video about this truck, purchased a truck in late October of 2022, had 20,125 miles on it. It now has a little over 26,000, probably like 26,300, something like that. Of those 6,000 some odd miles that I've put on it, 2,800 has more or less been from work and back, which that trip is 40 miles round trip, one stoplight, average speed of about 65 miles an hour. Because, you know, if you didn't know, I live in the middle of nowhere. So state road speeds here are 65 and interstates 80. So average speed of about 65. The one trip I took from South Dakota to Florida back to South Dakota, that trip was 3,214 miles for 54 hours and 12 minutes. So that gives us an average speed of 60 miles an hour. And overall, the truck, according to the information system, got 16.8 miles per gallon. If you hand calculate it out, I got 16.9. Something that a lot of people complain about with any type of electronic in-vehicle fuel mileage is it's not right. Typically, in my experience, they're plus or minus 10%, and I don't think you're going to get closer than that, based on just the cost of the technology and the sensors that would be required to get it any closer than that. So that's kind of a little bit how the truck, the use of the truck. I have not towed a trailer with it. It is not registered properly to tow the trailer that I have. Had a little miscommunication with my wife, and she did not register it properly. Not her fault. Just I did not tell her how we needed to register it. So it's actually not registered to go with the trailer that we have, only because there's a couple different registration options here in South Dakota. And one of them is basically you register a trailer for life, but the truck itself has to be registered for the weight of the trailer. And so basically it would be illegal for me to pull the trailer with this truck as it is currently registered. I probably will not pull a trailer with this truck unless I get a gooseneck between now and when the new 2023 gets here. I probably will not pull a trailer with this truck at all. So we may not even get any type of trailer announcement on this truck during that time. So a couple of just base items that we probably need to cover. It does have the 6.7 Power Stroke. It's 2018, as I've already said. It is an F350. It is the King Ranch trim package. It does have the King Ranch, what they call Ultimate Package, which is actually no longer offered as of the end of 2022. And it does have a 331 electronic limited slip differential in it. Which I think is really important to note, because I'm going to talk a little bit about fuel mileage and has it compared to the previous or the other truck that I have, which is the 2013 F250 King Ranch. So a little background on why I bought it, just very, very brief. I bought it because I ordered a 2022 and Ford was not able to get me that truck. And basically decided that originally I was going to buy this one and not buy a new one. But then Ford, I think in good judgment, basically made me an offer where I could basically purchase a 2023 for a very similar price to where the 2022 was priced at. So basically got rid of all of that inflation. Now there's still some increased borrowing costs, and we can get into those numbers if anybody wants to, but I don't think it's really all that important. So far, I really like this truck. I'm going to go through my likes and dislikes, just kind of from a standpoint of comparing it to the 2013. Obviously, everybody has their own preferences when it comes to a truck. This is mine. I do tend to like higher trim level trucks because I spend a lot of time in them. I mean, that 3,200 mile trip to Florida, you know, we will take trips in this truck, my wife and I, and so we spend a good amount of time in a truck. And you know, it's just one of those things that it's just the way I like it. Obviously, if you don't spend a lot of time in it, or you don't have a need for it, then, you know, I'm not going to say that everybody needs a higher trim level truck. This is just what I like to drive. So my likes and dislikes. So I'm going to start off with some things on the interior. So we'll just open the door here. I'm going to put my list down, that way I can read it. So things on the interior here that I like. First off, if you're going to buy one of these trucks and you live in a cold climate, I would highly recommend the supplemental rapid heat. That is, the 2013 I had did not have it. This truck has it. When it is, you know, 0 degrees outside, or as it was right before Christmas, -20 outside, and you're driving, it's really nice to have heat before you've sat in the truck for 15 minutes. Also, I did not have a heated steering wheel on the 2013. This has the heated steering wheel. Really, really nice feature. I live in a cold climate, obviously, with all the snow on the ground in the video. But it is actually very, very nice. The heated steering wheel, it's a lot nicer than I thought. So some of the other things, we're just going to kind of go through, so we'll go back and forth in the truck real quick. So what I did not have on the previous truck is I did not have a tailgate step. With as tall as these trucks are now, the tailgate step is super nice. Also, the slow drop tailgate, that is something that I really, really like. You know, when you got your hands on something, the key fob has a tailgate release, which I really like. I don't know if I don't think all trim levels would come with that, but this trim level, the King Ranch trim level, does come with the key fob where you can release the tailgate. Really nice when you're walking through after you're doing your grocery shopping or something. If we take this truck to town for grocery shopping, we'll just put a couple totes in the back, and that's where our groceries go if it's not too cold, because we've got our dogs in the back seat, and we'll just put the groceries in there. When we're walking up, we can double click and drop the tailgate. One thing, and I've heard this from a couple people, basically in 2017, the size of the back seat of this truck is amazing. You can tell that our dogs travel with us a lot. But the size of the back seat is great. It's considerably bigger than the back seat in the 2013, because this seat right here is actually scooted all the way back. And so you still have plenty of legroom in the back seat. And I remember growing up, I said, well, I'm never going to own a 4-door truck, and come to find out, I went from a regular cab to a 4-door, and I don't think I'll ever not own a 4-door truck. Let's see here. The cab is quiet. I think it's probably a little bit quieter than my 2013 was brand new. Which, I mean, obviously they have some improvements in technology there, but that is something to note. There's a little bit noticeable difference in the power between this truck and my 2013. The 2013 has 400 horsepower, and this truck's got, I think, 440, 450, something along those lines. Now to get into some of the technical aspects, there's 3 things that I'll list there on my likes list. The high idle is very responsive, which is extremely nice. For those of you that don't know, when you live in a climate that continually has below 0 temperature, the cat's gonna go for a tour. Having a truck that the diesel engine will basically idle at a higher revolution is really nice. 2013 does have high idle, but the 2013 really seems to struggle actually engaging it. This truck, if you're just sitting in, like, say, a couple times I've noticed when I'm sitting in McDonald's, making sure he's not going to get muddy paw prints all over my seat, which he is. Hey, can you get out of the truck? Come on. And get your claws off the seat. You will be just fine. No. Have to keep him out of there. He probably wants to go inside in the garage. So high idle seems much more responsive. Really, really like the high idle response on this truck. Also, the fact that it has a DEF gauge, that is a huge plus instead of just the, let me let the cat in the garage here. Were you going to go in or not? Come on. There we go. Okay. The DEF gauge is really nice. You know when to fill it up. And then the LED headlights. The LED headlights were part, I guess when this truck was new, it was part of the King Ranch Ultimate package. Between the LED headlights and LED fog lights, they are absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love them. Cannot imagine life without them. That's one of the features that I did want in a new truck, and probably one of the reasons I considered keeping this one until Ford made me that offer for the 2023. Dislikes. We're going to go back into the cab real quick now that the cat's not out here. We'll start on the outside. I do not like these mirrors as much as I liked the 2013 mirrors. 2013 mirrors seem a little bit taller, and they're also squared off. Also, the concave, or yeah, I guess it would be concave. I'm not convex, whatever. The shape of this mirror seems to distort what you're looking at behind you a little bit more than the mirrors on my 2013. Just one of the things that I've noticed backing into parking spots and stuff like that. Probably one of my biggest complaints about the cab of this truck is the cruise control. In my 2013, all the cruise control buttons are right here. Really easy to do with your thumb, depending on where your hand's at. Not really that big of a challenge. However, in this truck, there are no little, you have to do this by, you have to do it by actually looking at it. So you have to take your eyes off the road. In the old truck, and I'm sure over time I will learn where everything's at, but there's not even any braille type of indication of what's plus, what's minus, you know, there's nothing along those lines. And also you have to slide your hands down. I tend to prefer to have my hands on the top of the steering wheel. I have to slide my hand down to basically play with the cruise, which I'm not necessarily excited about. Probably one of my biggest complaints off that trip I took to Florida was the fact that I was all the time turning cruise off instead of cancel, or if I needed to cancel cruise because I was coming up behind a different vehicle. And this does not have adaptive cruise, which adaptive cruise is another one of my pet peeves that I may discuss at the end of this video. I was hitting resume to try to cancel it because historically it's always been cancel resume. So yeah, that's not my favorite setup. Also, the overhead lights, I don't know why we needed to have a button for the overhead lights right here. Why don't we just make them to where you push the lights like Ford's, you know, had for the last, I don't know, 20 years. This truck does have a bed liner in it. The bed liner is crap, absolute crap. I am sure it protects the bed, but it does not prevent anything from slipping. If anything, it's like they put grease back there. Even in the, so my 2013, I never put a bed liner in it, and things will slide around, but not that bad. This truck, I don't know if it's just lack of surface area right here and how it slides, but I mean, this stuff is just super slick and it just slides around like nobody's business. And I'm just not, I ordered this in the 2023, but I am actually heavily considering letting my dealer know to actually take this off, and I'll deal with another brand because this is the Ford brand. I don't particularly like these Goodyear tires. I don't know, I guess I'm at an age where I don't really like the hum of tires, and these tires seem to hum a little bit. And I don't appreciate their ride quality quite as much as I like the Michelins on the 2013. Both are 18-inch rims, so I'm just not a huge fan of these Goodyears. I won't have the truck long enough to wear them out, so I don't have much to say about that. The next thing is the truck does not tell you when it's going through a regeneration cycle, which is slightly infuriating because I can drive enough that I can get through a regeneration cycle without costing myself a significant amount of fuel mileage. For those of you that don't understand what I'm talking about, regeneration is basically when the diesel particulate filter is there's extra diesel basically injected through the system, and it's burned off in the diesel particulate filter, which is a ceramic filter that captures all of the ash and stuff like that. That's why these trucks don't blow black smoke, and that is why even this truck has 26,000 miles on it, or my other truck with 200 plus thousand miles does not have any black soot on the tailpipe, because it is all caught. See if we can get up underneath here, right there in that aluminum clad thing that looks like it's got heat shielding around it. That is the diesel particulate filter, and basically that gets super hot and burns it all off and turns it into ash. Now we can all say, well, I should delete it, yada yada yada. Not going to happen. Is what it is. That's what the government said, and so that's what we're going to do. But this truck does not tell you when it's starting a regen cycle. And like today when I got home, I went to town this morning. Evidently the truck started a regen cycle sometime over the course of 20 miles. And when I got home, got the mail, I got out and I smelled the DEF or DPF cooking off. It has a unique smell. And the last thing I'm going to say I do not like about this truck is its mileage. And that is the reason I specifically spoke to the 331 rear end in this truck, which is very comparable to the 331 rear end in the 2013. Frankly, the mileage on this truck blows. Now, I never purchased these trucks because I expect to get really good gas mileage. If I expected to get good gas mileage, I'd go buy a Prius or, something along those lines. I'm not expecting to get 20 miles per gallon. That was never my intent. But so far, the highest I've seen in this truck, and this was going through St. Louis, headed south, was 19.1. Hand calculated out at 19. So truck said 19.1, hand calculated out at 19. So the other truck, even though it's got 200,000 miles on it, going through the same spot last year when I took it to Florida, I got 22.2. Probably the best mileage that I have seen on this truck back and forth to work and everything is about 15.1. I think currently on the current tank I'm at half tank, and I think I'm at 14.2. The 2013 would routinely get 16 and a half on the same truck, same time of year, things along those, or same drive, same time of year, stuff like that. I don't know if it's increased horsepower. I don't know if the engine's just not broken in. The 2013 fuel mileage did improve while basically as the mileage improved, and it got better up until about 100,000 miles, and it really hasn't changed. So maybe there's some break in there. But I would think with this truck, basically I bought it from a couple, but I did buy it at auction. I bought it from a couple that all they did was tow a 32-foot travel trailer with it. That was about 18,000 miles of the 20,000 miles on it that was on it when I bought it. So it's one of those things that the fuel mileage sucks. I don't know why, but it's one of those things. And like I said, I mean, sucks is all relative. It's still an 8,000 pound truck that gets 14 miles per gallon. So I really can't, with 450 horsepower into the hood. So I really can't complain all that much. What else is on my list that I missed? Another observation is this truck does not like 80 miles an hour nearly as much as, fuel mileage wise, nearly as much as the 2013. 2013 could do 80 miles an hour all day long at about 15 and a half, 16 miles per gallon. This truck doing 80 miles an hour, you're going to be really, really lucky to get 13. And it seems to be, I don't know if it's just the height of the truck. I'm not really sure there, but just mileage wise, this truck is inferior to the 2013. The 2013 is lower, but remember that they have the same rear differentials. So I think it'll be really telling. The 2023 that's coming, hopefully be here sometime between April and August. It has a 331 rear end, and it's got the 10-speed transmission. So, and I did not order the high output diesel with that truck. So it's got basically, I think, the same general engine that this truck has. So That's kind of my overall thoughts on this truck. I do really like it, even though I just spent the last probably 5 minutes of this video or more complaining about it. I think overall it is a very nice truck. It will make somebody a very nice truck when I go to get rid of it. I have not decided if I'm trading it or just selling it outright. It'll really depend on what the dealer offers me in trade and some of the tax savings and stuff like that on it. I do intend to keep the 2013 around, as I indicated in the last video. I'm going to use the 2013 for going to auctions and stuff like that. The 2013 does not have a gooseneck hitch in it. This one and the 2023 will. I'll probably buy a gooseneck hitch here in the next or gooseneck hitch, the gooseneck trailer here in the next few months, and we can kind of go from there. I tossed around the idea of keeping this truck versus the 2013, but it's a really difficult financial decision to keep two very nice low mileage trucks around, particularly with some of the things that I do with the 2013, like going to the scrapyard and stuff like that. It's just really difficult for me to take a truck like this and just beat it up. So we're going to sell this one, keep the 2013. I'll have the 2023, and I'll probably actually only have the 2023 for 4 to 6 years. And then basically I'll just keep the 2013 as long as it wants to stick around, and then just scrap it out. And then I'll just use the other truck as kind of my daily driver, for lack of a better term. But I probably would be driving the 2013 now to keep miles off this, but it needs new tires, and the tires finally came in last week, and so now I just got to find a time to go get them. So any questions, comments, leave them below. Really like the truck. It's been nice so far. Hopefully I can do a video comparing the 2018 to the 2023 when the 2023 gets here. Thanks for watching.